Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy.
We are joined right now by Logan Graffia, a contributing sports reporter for WLAE-TV out there in New Orleans. Logan, what's going on, man?
Hey, Taylor, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. You were the first phone call today that has not dropped halfway through, so we appreciate that on your part. But Logan, let's dive right into it, man. The Saints own the 14th pick and the 45th pick. Those are the ones that we've kind of seen mocked the most, and it's kind of consensus across the board been offensive line at 14 and then receiver at 45. What would you do with those picks if you were in the Saints position?
The exact same thing that you mentioned, offensive line and wide receiver. Before the Ryan Ramczyk news came out, I was totally against picking an offensive lineman at pick 14. I was all in on you got to get an edge rusher. But now with the Ramczyk news, I'm like, okay, you got to get offensive tackle or even an offensive guard at 14. And then with the 45th pick, I mean, you got to at least get a wide receiver, another pass catcher, because Michael Thomas is gone, and you're looking at a wide receiver core right now of just Olave, Shaheed, and A.T. Perry. I mean, you did sign Cedric Wilson, but how confident are you with that? So with the 14th pick, I would expect them to go, of course, offensive tackle. I mean, if I would expect them to go offensive tackle twice in this draft, if not much more. This is a desperate need at that position.
So we've seen whether it's Olu Fashanu, Fuaga from Oregon State, and now Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma. I mean, those have kind of been the three consensus, and I think they're all good picks. But let's say for some reason all three of those guys are there. Who do you go with?
I would go with the tackle from Washington, or you got to go with Mims from Georgia. He's a big mauler type of guy. He's played in the SEC. He missed a few games with an injury, to my knowledge. And then you have J.C. Latham from Alabama. And Bama players normally do well here for the Saints. So historically, he's a right tackle, but he can slide in over to left tackle if need be, because we don't know what's going to happen with Trevor Penning. You can kind of hope and pray that the new offensive line coaches that they brought in get him developed right, and then you draft someone like a J.C. Latham if all those other options are gone, and he could just slide in and start at right tackle for you like right away.
As far as that second round pick at 45, it seems like it's been receiver across the board. What kind of receiver do you think the Saints are looking for, and who do you like in that spot at 45?
It seems like if you look at the pattern of the visits of the receivers that they visited with, the top 30 visits, I mean, it's looking like they're looking for a true slot wide receiver because, like I said, Michael Thomas was predominantly in the slot last year. And like I said, he's gone. So one receiver that kind of fits that mold that they visited with is Malachi Corley from Western Kentucky, who Steve Smith Sr., who a legendary wide receiver from once upon a time, calls him the Yak King because a lot of his yards came after the catch, and he's been in the slot. He's like the perfect mold and the perfect choice, I think, at 45. He will be available, and if he's not there, then you get somebody who's kind of what I call a DK Metcalf clone, and Xavier Legette from South Carolina, just a big-bodied wide receiver. He's not a slot guy, but he can catch in traffic, and you kind of need all of this for this offense because the more weapons you have, the better it'll be because, I mean, what we've seen it can't get much worse from last year. It just can't.
Speaking of needing weapons on this offense, all the talk's been about receiver, but, this is a pretty deep tight end class. Do you think the Saints, is that something they look into? I mean, how happy do you think they are with their current tight end room? Because we know that Taysom, while he's listed as a tight end, he's going to move around all over the field. What are your thoughts on possibly looking after a tight end?
Well, I'm all for it because I am not that high on Juwan Johnson in the Foster Moreau tight end room. I mean, I loved Foster when he was at LSU, but that time has passed. Juwan Johnson, it's kind of been inconsistent. So I would think the Saints could benefit from drafting a tight end. I mean, there's so many that you could choose from. I mean, Brock Bowers is the fan favorite down here for the Saints to draft in the first round, which I don't think is realistic that he even makes it to 14. But you got so many options. I mean, they just visited with Eric All, the tight end from Iowa, but he's coming off of an injury. They got Theo Johnson from Penn State. Jatavion Sanders from Texas they visited with. I mean, the options are out all over the place. I mean, they really could benefit from another pass-catching tight end, but normally they like to go for a tight end that knows how to block more than they can catch. But I'm hoping with Clint Kubiak being here that they go for the more offensive side for the tight end, the pass-catching ability that way.
Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.